Innovation Unplugged from the Alabama Community College System's Innovation Center takes you inside Alabama's workforce development. Join us for enlightening conversations with community leaders and industry experts showcasing experiences, addressing key issues, and celebrating successes in the workforce initiatives across the state. All right, welcome back. Another episode of Innovation Unplugged. I'm Houston Blackwood, Workforce Director for this group. We have a special guest, a whole bunch of them today in City of Foley right now, but in studio with me is Matt Heaton. Hello, Matt.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, sir. I love your shirt today.
Thank you.
Yep, it's very snug too, by the way. Anyway, moving on. Down there by Zoom, we have the City of Foley, and this is a fun show. We've had a lot of Zoom guests, but they are oftentimes just one. But we've got 5 times the fun today coming to us for a really cool story. And so this is the City of Foley, and this came to us by way of Bishop State and Coastal Alabama Community College. And we're talking about CDL training for municipalities and how that upgrades the individual workers, but the employees, but also the city. It makes the whole city work a little bit better. So, and really what happened, this story came to us from some holiday training that maybe not this group entirely, but why it's important. So we're getting you guys in. I saw this on LinkedIn. Bradley Wallace does a good job of posting all the success. And what's cool about this relationship is that Coastal gets the training done, the theory behind the wheel, and then they test at Bishop State with Bradley's team. And so this is exactly why we were created, just so City of Foley guys know. But before we get much further down that road, Brock Rockstall, you're in the center of the video. If you would, just give us a quick intro of yourself and let your team introduce themselves from the City of Foley.
I'm Brock Rockstall. I'm a crew lead on the street maintenance side. I've been in this position for 3 years. I went through this class myself 3 years ago, and then have kind of led the setup for this class to continue on for the past 3 years. I'm going to start over here on my right. This is Connor, and then y'all can introduce yourselves.
I'm Connor. I'm a street sweeper technician. I've been in this position for roughly a year, but I've been with the city for going on 3 or 4 years, excuse me.
And I'm Will Ray. I'm a heavy equipment operator 1. I've been with the city for about a year and 2 months. I took the class about a year ago when I first got hired on.
And I'm Kurt Kruger. I'm on the urban forestry crew as a urban forestry technician too. I've been employed with the city for about a year and 7 months, and I got my CDL just a little over a year ago. I was in the same class as Will.
I'm Micah Cotton. I'm a urban forestry crew leader. I've been at the city for 11 years, and I took my CDL class about 3 years ago with Brock.
Okay, excellent. I appreciate that intro. I'm glad you guys are here. Thanks for taking time out of your day to be with us. I know y'all have many important things to do. Matt, before we dive into the questions with these guys, give the audience a quick rundown. For those who don't know, I think they most do because we talk about it all the time, but how does the CDL training pathway work for us with Skills for Success in the community colleges and a company like this?
Sure. So whether it be a local municipality, an individual high school student, open enrollment student, if they've got an interest in pursuing CDL and getting that license, everything starts with registration for the online theory component, which is going to take the place of that in-seat 8 to 4 theory time that in the past you would have known. So as long as you've got a device, a phone, laptop, and a good internet connection, you can complete that theory, which is a federal and ALEA requirement now that all participants have to take. And then moving from the theory to the training, that's where a lot of different things can happen. The driver can come to one specific college for that training, or like in this case, one college provided the training, another college provided the third-party testing. So it can be done multiple different places. We've seen set up in a football stadium parking lot where they worked on the alley docking, the backing, and that thing. So it allows for the course to really go to the participant once that theory is done, and that's the biggest thing and the biggest perk of our courses in general.
Yeah, works pretty well, efficient. Brock, we're gonna kick off those follow-up questions with you. So you were one of the first, and then you relayed that to your team. Now you did it some time ago, but you saw a value in it, and you said, "Hey, I need my team going through this." And most recently, you had a class that worked through this over the Christmas holidays, which, around Alabama, around the world, is typically a slow down time. But why was it important for you to use that time to commit your team to this training?
Well, we had 6 or 7 people ready to take their CDL. They were all available. We cut it close to the Christmas holiday, but not right up to it. They got off 2 or 3 days before Christmas and came back right after. They were all really excited to get their CDLs, been waiting to get it. So we wanted to go ahead and put them through the class so that way they'd have it before the new year came through.
Perfect. And that helps you start, I guess, the whole year, because then you planning on them being ready so you can have all kinds of projects that move maybe a little bit faster, having folks work a little bit more independently. Love that.
And Brock, 3 years ago when you earned your CDL, how did that change your current role, and what has that done for your role that you're in now for the City of Foley?
It opened up a lot of opportunities. I had the opportunity to move from an entry-level position up to the crew lead I am now, but I had other options if I wanted to take those options to go to different crews, such as the construction crew, the tree trimming crew or arborist crew, and areas of that nature.
Excellent. And so inside the city of Foley, and I guess it's that way most departments, I guess you can move up, and if you have the interest and willingness to, I guess, go climbing these trees. I would not. I'm terrified of heights. But whatever that role is now, as you get different credentials, you just open the door, and the city allows you to take on those opportunities as they come open and as you're interested.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's cool. Micah, switch to you for a second. What was the most challenging part of the CDL training? And was it the mental part or physical parts of the actual driving? And what helped you actually push through?
I definitely think the most challenging part was the pre-trip inspection in cab and around the truck. Getting your Class A, you have a whole lot more that you have to study for. You got to do, the whole cab of the truck, the inside, the outside, the trailer, the whole 9 yards. And really just grinding through it and studying your material and repetition of it that's probably the key to getting through that.
Mm-hmm. Did y'all study together?
Yes, sir, we did. We all got together, and it really helped a lot, like getting to watch everybody do theirs. And so it helped you as extra reps mentally. You might not have been physically doing it, but you were getting those mental reps as they were going through it. So it really helped out doing it as a group.
Yeah, in our heavy equipment, all of our skills for success courses, we try to coach the instructors to use that I do, we do, you do model. So they go through it one more time, then everybody does it, so everybody's getting it, all those reps, and then each person does it. And so that, to your point, Micah, that's the best instruction that there is, and I'm glad y'all made that happen.
Yeah. So, Micah, what would you tell another city employee or someone out in the community you knew that was on the fence about possibly pursuing this training?
I would just tell them to go for it. It's well worth it. It only benefits you. It definitely doesn't hurt you by any circumstance. I mean, anything that you can have to add to your arsenal to help yourself grow and develop, that's a key.
Hey, Will, we'll switch over to you. Now, you're the heavy equipment operator, so I imagine when you're in that excavator, you got to be really focused because there's a lot of things in the ground, especially fiber these days. I've heard that's expensive to fix. If you happen to pop one of those. So you're used to having a lot of focus and a lot of discipline when your hands are on a piece of machinery. So how did you translate that to the CDL training?
Just consistency, repetition. You want to back the same way every time, study the same way, because again, it's all going to be, pretty much used the same way every time you take turns and, take turns wide. And it also, goes into the real world every day of operating equipment. I mean, the same thing, focus, discipline, pay attention.
Mm-hmm. Love that. Now, did you have heavy equipment experience before you joined the city?
Yes, sir, a little bit, but it's been probably 8 to 10 years. So,
okay. And so you said you've been there about a year, and so you got your CDL and heavy equipment training. Did you take any heavy equipment training through Coastal or?
A little bit. It was mostly kind of hands-on, start little, loading trucks with limbs and all that, and then kind of working your way up. So.
Gotcha. Cool.
Will, you had mentioned the attention to detail coming from the heavy equipment to the CDL. Was there any other skills that translated directly to the CDL training and pursuing that?
So again, just kind of repetition and getting your rest right, paying attention. Again, most stuff we do is kind of discipline and attention to detail oriented as far as grading dirt and safety wise. Safety was probably a big part of it all too, because you want to be safe while you're pulling stuff. And
would you say you're like the biggest perk from having this CDL with you being that heavy equipment operator is the ability to transport your own machines that you need? That way there's no downtime, wait time on the equipment to get to the site?
Absolutely. Yes, sir. It's because a lot of jobs, we'll need multiple pieces of equipment, and you get there, instead of everybody having to leave, just one guy can run and grab that and come back, and the rest of the crew can continue working. So
Yeah,
it definitely helps.
Brock, what does that do? What Will was talking about right there. What does that do for your planning for projects?
What was that again? Sorry.
When Will was talking about having one guy working and another guy's going and bringing the different equipment that's needed, either planned or emergency, unexpected, how does that help you plan your projects around the city to be more efficient, more costly effective?
We can spread out our guys more efficiently if we have more that are trained with CDL, so we don't have to wait for one or two people, just say, to move all of the equipment by themselves. We have most of the construction crew, if not all, have CDLs now, so any of them can move whatever they need to job site rather than just waiting on one or two people.
Yeah, because I pay attention around our little town. There's a lot of things that seems like you got to take a piece of machinery there, but it's really not a big job. Certainly doesn't need two guys to spend half the day moving equipment, doing the 20-minute job that machine can only do, and then whatever. So I love hearing that Coastal and Bishop helping y'all work that out. Kurt, switch over to you. What surprised you most about the training or about yourself during that training?
Well, I'd have to piggyback off of what Michael was saying. The pre-trip was definitely one of the biggest things that surprised me the most, as far as knowing everything about the inside cap portion of the inspection on top of the exterior, and even taking the written test for your permit was, a really big, challenge as well. Just constantly just studying, repetition, just almost treating it like a trivia game.
Yeah.
And also just watching the other guys go through their pre-trip to help each other out. And just overall, just really everything else was kind of the downhill, factor of it. Like the driving portion was a lot easier. The backing was, it was definitely a challenge in itself, but I feel like there was more of a mental strain than a physical going through it, but it's definitely worth it in the end, because once you get over the pre-trip and your written permit test, like everything else is just, really isn't that bad at all.
Yeah. You guys all mentioned the pre-trip, preparing for the pre-trip, studying for it was the biggest part. How did y'all collectively study for the permit test and for the pre-trip?
Well, for the permit test, there's an app that I was able to get on my phone, and it was called just a CDL prep test. Yep. And I could just select my state, and basically, like I said, I just treated it like a trivia game on my phone. I would just take the actual exam, the practice exam, see what I missed, learn from that, and even just take the exam portion on the app just over and over and over until I averaged a score of around 90 or higher.
Yep. On
whether it was combination, air brakes, or general knowledge. And so by the time I got in there to actually take my test, about 85% of those questions that I had on my app were on the test itself. I said, I got this in the bag. It's a no-brainer. And I've passed with flying colors. So and again, it's just repetition. Just study, just over and over and over till you're about sick of it.
Yep.
But, it just makes it so much easier, and you breeze right through it.
Yeah. And did you have commercial driving experience before you started this?
No, sir, I have not. I mean, okay. I've had a remodel construction, about a year of that. And before that, I worked at Collins Aerospace assembling aircraft parts for the A320 Neo program.
Yeah.
That's something I did for a little while. And then when 2020 hit, that's when they laid off 200 plus people. And it was a massive layoff. But I'm glad it worked out in the end, because here, getting my CDL and And also starting this, urban forestry crew has just opened many doors for me. So like I said, and we were saying, if we were to ever want to go anywhere else, it definitely, helps build your arsenal and your resume to go do anything, and you want, as far as you never would have thought you've been doing before. So it's been a blessing for sure.
Yep. So your title, arborist, urban arborist level 2. I may have butchered that a little bit, but I bet most of the kids around the state, high school kids, don't know what that is. And now we're getting into the spring semester, and there'll be a whole bunch of kids that graduate that don't have a plan. They got the diploma, but then what? What would you tell those kids about being an urban arborist?
Well, like I was saying with when I was talking to Mike about this, several times in the past, we just really wish there was somebody that could have actually, say, started a program, or even had they could have had some kind of event in the gymnasium area or something, or just to or had somebody come in and demonstrate, almost like how people bring their parents to work or something, have somebody to actually explain what an arborist is, the fact that it's considered more of an art form as far as how you shape a tree, how you understand the anatomy of it, the different species, on top of what it takes to actually take down a big tree, and how dangerous it is, and how much you need to know to strategize and formulate a plan. You've got ropes, pulleys, carabiners. Everybody has to work together, head on a swivel, and make sure you're doing everything as safe as possible. And at the same time, even though it is very dangerous, it's also very exciting and cool to just, watch everybody come together and tackle such a big project, and also just, just get to the point where, we all get everything done safely and in a orderly manner.
Gotcha. Micah, do you have any follow-up on that arborist side?
Like Kurt said, it's a group effort, and the best thing about everybody having their CDLs, we pretty much make it a requirement for anybody that's coming into the urban forestry division. We want them to have their CDL, so everybody is universal across the board. So if Kurt's out one day, I have 3 more guys I can put out there and drive our 60-foot bucket truck. That is a Class B requirement.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the plus side to having it, and it's a really big help having everybody with their CDLs.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. Next man up mentality. Love it. Connor, switch over to you. What does it mean personally to be able to invest in your professional growth while also serving your community?
So, to me, I think it means more of you grow with a purpose. Your development isn't just about yourself or your credentials, but more about gaining your, skills and knowledge about actually improving what will improve others' lives outside of your job.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess your learning becomes more meaningful because you have better problem solving and outcomes for others.
I love that.
Yes. Connor, how does the experience going through getting the CDL, how has that changed your approach with responsibility or working as a team with the City of Foley?
I would say it changed the approach. I guess because responsibility becomes more about people centered and not just task centered. I guess you're trying to complete how you see decisions and how it affects the real thing outside of your formal job, and your accountability feels heavier on yourself and your team. I guess it tends to slow down your work and makes you ask your questions of, was the job completed, and was it completed with fairness and correctness, or done correctly?
Love that. Sounds like you might be the next HR guy. You said that really well. I love that because, sometimes it's easy just to do a job and not really think about the who or who's going to see it, who's going to be affected by it. So all of you have said, I'm doing my job more specifically, more carefully so that it affects other people well. And that's I'm sure that that represents well. So this next question is to the group, but I'm going to kick it off with Brock specifically. And just so you know, like this particular episode is going to fall into a series about leadership, and this episode really is about leaders investing in their team. So Brock, and for the rest of you too, what does it say about the City of Foley's culture that leadership invests in this training and supports their employees to finish it?
I think it's a welcoming culture that they want all the employees here to have the opportunity to move up if that's where they want to go. Just the fact that they pay for this class and let anybody who wants to participate in it. All of us here, and then probably 15 or 20 more have participated in these CDL classes, whether it be the one through Coastal or the one through Bishop State. So I just think it's a very welcoming, warming culture they have for all of its employees.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else?
I mean, I never would have thought when I started here that I would be in the position that I'm in. I mean, as far as like starting, a year and 7 months ago, I didn't really, ever see myself potentially at some point maybe actually running a crew. And the rate that our crew is moving at, we just started this crew almost about a year ago, last February, and so much has grown and changed since then. And the only thing really stopping us from growing, even more is just the manpower. We're already, such a short, tight-knit crew as it is. But, there is plans, for one day to hopefully have a tree trimming crew and have one guy over that and have one guy over at tree takedowns and be able to work together, all come together on projects that, may need more than just us or vice versa. If they need more people to really tackle a big trimming job. But I just think that's really cool because it's just opened up so many more opportunities and the rate that we're growing at. And I just think just working here and starting this is it's been a major advantage. And there's plenty of opportunity to grow here for sure.
I love that. Any leader would want their team to say something like that and feel it that way too. Will, Micah, Connor, anything?
I think that the fact that the city pours a lot of stuff in their employees and they're willing to do this for us shows the type of character that the city has and what they're offering. It's such an important part in your life that knowing that the people who your employers care about you makes you want to care about your employees and your team as well. Like all the guys that are on the urban forestry crew, Brock, Will, and Connor, we all work so well together and it's so fluid that if Will needed somebody to haul something in our crew one day, we could go help them. And we treat each other with respect. And the fact that the city shows us respect by doing this for us, it makes our job easier. Mm-hmm. Because we start caring about our jobs more, like Connor said, and paying closer attention to detail. Like you don't want to go, like we were saying about the trees, you don't want to go out there and you don't want to mangle something up. You want it to look pretty. You don't want it to look nice. And you want to do your job correctly and carefully and safe so everybody gets to go home and spend time with their families.
A lot of jobs, they're, require you to have a CDL, but you have to get it on your own. Here, there's some jobs that, they require a CDL, but they'll also invest in you to get that to help move up, which that's a big help.
Yeah. Creating that vertical pathway for you and taking away the obstacles. Yeah. Because that cost, I think it's around $4,000 easy for Class B in some places and maybe a little more for Class A. So, the Skills for Success program being able to help the colleges provide that to the City of Foley at no cost, but there's still the cost of just y'all being in training for 2 or 3 weeks. That's a big deal. Mm-hmm. Love all of that. Matt.
Yes. Another all group question. How important was the support that you all got from the 2 community colleges, Coastal and Bishop, while you were going through the process of taking the Skills for Success course?
I think we had a lot of support from both sides. Coastal on the fact that they provide the online training. Before we actually get out there and look at a truck in person, we do all the online training and have it turned in. And then as soon as they get there, we've used the same instructor. We've used Mike Allen. We used him for all of our Class A classes, and he has been great to work with. always willing to help us out in any way, give us extra time if we need extra time on certain aspects of the training. It's just been support on both sides throughout the whole time we've done this.
I feel like it's structured pretty well as well. You kind of show up to class, give you a rundown. You know, you need to fill this out, do this. The whole class will go through your paperwork for your federal, you know, your truckers against trafficking. All that is done as a class. So the only thing individual is, you know, hey, here's your courses online, get that done. And then, you know, the rest is kind of as a group. So there's, you know, there's not a lot of lost people going along the way. So,
Yeah. So that's a unique situation. Doesn't happen many places where one college provides the theory, the second college provides the behind the wheel and the testing. That's a very unique partnership between those two colleges, and I was happy to hear when they had that worked out. So good stuff. All right, so we're going to turn towards the future here. This is for anybody in the group. I need one sentence. Okay, this is a one sentence response. We call this the lightning round. Your advice to anyone considering going through this CDL training?
I would say just to just keep at it. I mean, it can be nerve wracking. It was for me. I mean, as long as you stay in it, just keep repetitiveness and trying to learn it, trying to stay with it, and just get it done.
Got it.
I'll say just pay attention.
Got it.
I'd say take the step and better yourself.
And I would say, as far as like when you're thinking about it or hesitating, or you feel like you may get overwhelmed, just think about what it's going to do for you in the long term. You know, not just for where you're at right now, but where you're going to go, or wherever you want to go, or what you want to do. It's just endless, you know, opportunities. It opens many doors, and it does not hinder you at all to have it. If anything, it does you a lot of good, and it definitely makes you look good on your resume. And it's just another good quality and a good, you know, trade to have.
And I'd say just be confident in what you do and do it to the best of your abilities.
Love that. Good advice all around. Real people giving real advice to the future folks. We appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day. You know, this is a big deal for us to see these success stories. And I just want to think of it particularly Brock, Rockstyle, Will Ray, Connor Clopton, Kurt Kruger, and Micah Cotton. You guys are just putting a shining star on what our community colleges are able to do for their communities. You know, putting the title where it should go. So, any final thoughts from you guys?
I think the program is pretty good the way they got it running. It definitely helps a lot of people out with advance and just confidence in life. So highly recommend.
5 out of 5 stars.
I give it 5.
Good. Would recommend. Good stuff. Anybody else?
Just glad we get to participate in this unique opportunity, and hope to have many more years of this as well.
Yeah, us too. Hey, if anybody hears this show and they're like, you know what, it sounds like the City of Foley is a great place to work, how would they find out about that?
Go to cityoffoley.org, go down to the Human Resources tab, and you can find somebody there to talk to you about if they want to come work here, just find out information about what we do here.
Okay, cityoffoley.org. Pretty simple. Good deal. Well, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate Miss Terry giving us access and making this happen. So, Matt, final thoughts from you?
Another great episode. Another avenue to tell our why. And again, thanks for the City of Foley for giving you guys the time to be with us today, and we greatly appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Matt, wrap this thing up like a late Christmas present.
Absolutely. If any of the topics you've heard discussed today or on a previous episode are of interest to you, or if you're interested in seeking out what other Skills for Success programs are available, you can find all that information at trainforalabama.com. Again, that is train, F-O-R, for Alabama.com. And this is going to conclude another episode of Innovation Unplugged. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and follow on all your social media platforms. Have a great afternoon. Thank you.